All right. Hey, everybody. Hey. I'm still waiting for y'all's cousins and such to get here. But we're going to go ahead and get started. All right. Everybody's checked in and has a handout? Yes? Hey, welcome back. Hey, welcome back. All right. Handouts. Did you get checked in? Oh. Okay, we're going to give it another 60 seconds so everybody can get checked in, and then we'll go ahead and start cleaning. You missed that handout. I'm about to text it to you. The cheapest things that are abundantly available in the grocery stores was the season. That's the shortcut way. So like leeks are in season. Oh, you weren't here for that either? Yeah, I think so. I sent you the sheet passed out. All right, we're good. No, she's not in there. Wait, we good? Okay. All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Ready to go ahead and get started? All right, so everybody should have the handout for today. It's a front and back. The front side is the one that has my website at the bottom. So the one that says food-related toxins, that is side one, because I always forget the number of my handouts. Okay. Well, we have like a couple more classes left, so we are here every Sunday through the end of June, here 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock or 4:45, because we are generously sponsored by the Arts and Science Council of Mecklenburg County. So we will reapply for another grant, and when that, or if or when that comes through, I will let you all know. Also, for other housekeeping, on June 21st, Friday, June 21st, right here, we have our monthly event, and we are doing karaoke this month. So whether you like to sing or you like to watch other people try to sing, come on out and have a good time, okay? Because it's going to be fun. I'm probably going to get on the microphone too, and I cannot sing. That's from 5 to 9. It's Friday night. Friday, June 21st, from 5 to 9. I love to sing, though I can't do it. Because I wouldn't have any friends if I knew how to sing. And that's a true statement. That's a true statement. I'll get up there and try now. I'll get up there and try. It's not fun going to karaoke and everybody can sing. I'm like, this is not Apollo, okay? Like, this is not it. Yeah, that's not fun. Okay. So that's happening. What else is happening? Something else is happening that I can't remember. Oh, yes, the other thing. You all probably are seeing continuous improvements here at the restaurant. So officially tomorrow we kick off our brand new menu. So we have breakfast, a full breakfast menu that will be happening full time tomorrow. Hey, Darlene. Look, where are you going? Huh? Where you going? Okay. All right. She distracted me with all her colors and stuff. You look beautiful. Yeah, so we have our full breakfast menu kicking off tomorrow. And if you all have noticed, we got rid of the coffee machine because we never really did anything with the coffee machine. And we have this lovely 3-door fridge for our grab and go. So in there every day, particularly starting tomorrow, you will see sea moss, purple and gold sea moss from yours truly in there. You will see grab and go options. So I know I've taught you all a lot that I am the plant-based chef at Daniel Stowe Botanical Gardens, and I do all their grab and goes there. So the full menu I have there will also be available here, so you all can try that out. We will have smoothies and fresh squeezed juices, and we have some all that today, a little sample of some of that today. Guava juice, pear juice, pineapple juice, mango juice. Hey, baby. Hi, Pam. Welcome. See, I told you our cousins and stuff would show up, right? I told you they come. They just come late. But we're glad you're here. Okay. So I think that's it for the housekeeping part. And then the biggest thing about today that I'm super, super excited about is that my little sister has traveled from Greensboro to come see me today. That's her right here. And she doesn't like the attention, but I'm just grateful my sister is here because I love her so much. Yeah, and we don't get to see each other that often. So I'm happy. Okay, so today, before we get into our lecture, I'll talk about what we're going to prepare for today. Because it's summertime and we try to keep things light and been more on the raw side of things, showing y'all more raw dishes or high raw dishes that can be flavorful, that are still quick and easy. We're going to do what I call fresh rolls. They're also called salad rolls. They're also called spring rolls. They're also called summer rolls. They're also called Vietnamese, whatever you want to call it. We're making those rice paper wraps today. So we're technically going to Vietnam because Vietnam is the country that kind of known for their spring rolls, okay? And with a peanut dipping sauce, which is kind of in Thailand. So we're going to be in Asia today with the flavor profile. And then for our mandatory dessert, I'm showing you all how to make a very easy and quick dump and go cobbler. And then I'm going to have a trivia question for you on that, and that's who will get the biggest portion of the cobbler, okay? I know y'all need to be motivated. I know that. Okay. I'm sure I'm forgetting something, so when it hits me, I will bring it up. But until that happens, I'm going to start with the handout for today. All right, so make sure you're on the front page that says 4 related toxins to avoid. The first section is BPA. Now, I know you all hear BPA this and BPA that. You know it's bad, but you don't know what it is. You don't know why you shouldn't do it, right? And we always say in this class, know why. Know what it is. Don't just hear, oh, it has gluten in it and be scared. Oh, it's got this in it and be scared, right? What is BPA? Bisphenol A. Who knows? The answer's on the sheet. It's an endocrine disruptor. Okay, I'm sure you've heard that buzz phrase, endocrine disruptor. What is endocrine disruptor? What does that mean? She says growth hormone. You said what? She says the chemical our brain excretes. Our gland excretes. Anybody else say anything? What is an endocrine disruptor? Okay, thank you, Naija. You just reminded me for the last thing. Please feel free to order food now or during class. The kitchen shuts down at 4:30, okay? So you can order food for right now, or you can order food to be picked up when class is over, okay? You're not interrupting me by going through to order anything off the menu, so please be sure to do that. That was the last housekeeping item. Thank you, babe. All right. Nobody else knows what endocrine disruptor means? Do you all know we have an endocrine system in the body? You've heard of the endocrine system, right? So if there's a system in the body, what does the endocrine system do? What system is that? Okay, so we don't know. Y'all all avoided eye contact with me, so I'm going to take that as you don't know. That is what is in control of our hormones, right? So all the glands in the body, okay, all the glands in the body that excrete hormones, that is the part of the endocrine system. So like your spleen, your thyroid, your parathyroid, all those things are glands. Those are part of the endocrine system, okay? All the things, all the glands that excrete hormones are part of the endocrine system. Okay, so BPA is something that disrupts. It's a hormone disruptor. Hi, Kim. Welcome. How you doing? Hi, Leslie. Welcome. Okay, awesome. We're just kind of getting started. So that's why they had this big kick about BPA this and BPA that, because it's chemical disruptors, right? So it messes up your hormones. So most of the endocrine disruptors out here are fake estrogens, all right? And when it's a fake estrogen, it's called a xenoestrogen, Xeno estrogen, xenoestrogen. Anytime you see the word xeno, that means outside of the body. It means it's fake, it's not natural to the human body, okay? And they're 1,000 times stronger than naturally occurring human estrogen. So when a xenoestrogen takes over the receptor site in our bodies, it is way more powerful than the estrogen that comes from a plant or that your human body makes. That's why they're so disruptive. Hi, Rebecca, welcome. Hi, Pastor, welcome. Awesome. Well, look, now I have to kind of start over just a hair. It's okay. I told him, I said, all y'all's cousins stuff show up a little on the late side. I was trying to wait for you. But we got a lot to get done today. Okay. Let them have a seat. We'll take 15 seconds, and then we'll ask the questions again. Meet them. Okay. All right. And for all those that just came in, this is our front and back handout. The front page that says 4 food-related toxins. And it has the website at the bottom. That's the page we're going over first. 4 food-related toxins. Hi, welcome, Love in Action. How you doing? You come on in. You can order up there. Oh, okay. Well, welcome. Okay. So now we're going to reset. So now that the boards that were here, you already know the answer. Let's see the ones that weren't here know the answer. What is an endocrine disruptor? What's the endocrine system? What is it? Our endocrine system. The glands in your body that excrete hormones. I think that's the correct answer, Karen. That's correct. So when they see all these things say BPA free, hi, welcome to Love in Action. When you see all these things that say BPA free, it's because BPA is an endocrine disruptor. So you can just replace endocrine with hormone disruptor. Okay, so whenever you see that, you can just replace it with that. But just know, it's not just BPA. There's BPB, BPC, BPD, BPE. It goes all the way through the alphabet. Okay, but BPA is the most common. So you want to, if you eat canned foods, make sure you're buying BPA-free canned foods. You want to just try to avoid as much as possible because, like I said, it's a xenoestrogen. So not only are women getting way too much estrogen, so are men. Gynecomastia is on the rise. There's so many issues that men are having with their prostate and everything because they have too much fake estrogens in the body, okay? And BPA is a major contributor to that. So just be on the lookout for that, okay? Any questions about the endocrine disruptor before we move to the next point? Okay, so to avoid that, use glass, use stainless steel for your water bottles. Don't drink out of plastic water bottles, okay? And if you do, because I know plastic is everywhere and it's really hard to avoid, make sure you don't leave it in your car. Make sure it hasn't been exposed to heat of any kind because all those chemicals in that plastic bottle get into your water and then you're drinking those endocrine disruptors, okay? It's very important that they are at room temperature or cold. They're not exposed to heat. And with that, you want to make sure that you're not wrapping stuff in plastic wrap. The plastics, you just want to avoid them as much as you possibly can. Okay, as much as you possibly can. If you're going to if you put food in plastic to store, reheat it on the stove. Don't put it in the microwave because the microwave is already its own thing. I can talk about, hi, welcome, Love in Action. How you doing? Okay. All right, and so the same thing, when you have plasticware that you use, you want to hand wash it. You don't want to put it in a dishwasher because, again, it's the same thing. Hey, welcome back. Good to see you. You don't want it exposed to the heat. It's going to leach all that stuff out into your food. And you can actually taste the difference. Have you ever left water in a car and then you go and drink it and it tastes off? Okay, nothing's changed. It's the chemicals that are in the water, okay? So it's the same effect when you do that with the dishwasher, when you do that with the microwave. Those are things you want to really avoid. Invest in glass Tupperware, for lack of a better word, right? So you can just reuse it and then you don't have to worry about any of that. Any questions on BPA and why you should try to avoid as much as possible? A quiz is coming, okay? Okay. Maybe today, maybe not. I know it's got to keep y'all engaged, that's all. Yes, sir. It's a partial gimmick in the sense that it's not just BPA, it's BPB, BPC, BPD, BPE, right? So, but BPA is the most prevalent. So you still want to make sure it says BPA free. Yep, even though it's a lot of other things. Any kind of metal that's not a soft metal is fine. Yeah. Stainless steel, glass, ceramic that's lead free. Those are things you want to do. Aluminum without the nickel. Make sure it's not the aluminum, it's the hard aluminum, so it's not chipping off, because that's a heavy metal, which we're going to get to. Yeah, don't cook with the aluminum foil, or at least put a barrier between that and your food. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Okay, so moving on to the next section, pesticides, which is one of my passion points. As you all know, I get my soapbox about organics and stuff, right? So let's see. Rebecca, would you read pesticides, please, loudly?
Repeated exposure to pesticides may contribute to health problems. Choose organic produce when possible. Remove some pesticides by washing produce under running water.
Notice I said some. I should have put that in bold and underlined. Okay, some pesticides. Now, who can tell me, for those who've been in class, and I've said this almost every single class, why you cannot wash off the pesticides? Who can tell me? Yes, Leslie. So that means the pesticides are in the food, and you can't wash it off. Yes. Thank you. So something stuck. So if you learned nothing else in this class since January, if you walked away with that, then that's mission accomplished. That's like my number one point, okay? It doesn't matter. You cannot wash it off. You can wash off the excess, the external stuff, some of it, but it's in the cell of the fruit or the vegetable that you're eating. It's literally inside of it. And that's why it bioaccumulates in your body, and that's why you have all these problems and diseases that magically, seemingly, randomly appear, okay? So, any questions on that? Because I'm happy to get back on that soapbox. Happy to, anytime. No more questions? Okay. All right, I'll move on. I'll stop myself. Okay. All right, next section, food dyes. Food dyes. Let's see. Kim, would you read that loudly, please?
Regular intake of food with dyes have been linked to health problems. Look for food with natural dyes like fruit and vegetable extracts. Limit or avoid ultra-processed foods. Emphasize balanced choices.
Welcome to Love in Action, ladies. Okay, so there's a lot to unpack there. So first question I'm going to ask you, what is an ultra-processed food? What is that? So we have processed, then we have ultra-processed foods. Nope, that's just pasteurized foods, which is a lot of stuff, and that's a hygiene thing. It's not a food thing. So a lot of our junk foods are going to be ultra-processed. Can you give me just an example of one, Rebecca? Doritos actually are considered processed. Yes. Ultra-processed. So you've seen the newest ultra-processed things I've seen here recently. They have what they call ultra-processed milk. The dairy milk, you'll see ultra-pasteurized, right? Ultra-processed. You'll see that on there. Because why? They're trying to take out they're trying to take out everything that makes it terrible for you, right? That's because it's not meant for you. It is a cow's breast milk, right? It's for a calf. So they try to take all these things. So anything where they have to take things out to leave something behind that has a remnant of what it used to be is ultra processed. It means it's not naturally occurring at all in nature. Okay, that's what that means. So we want to avoid those things. We want to avoid anything that is processed. We want to eat as whole food, plant-based as possible. Okay, so looking for stuff with dyes, when it says it's linked to health problems, because particularly like this younger generation, they've grown up with all these convenience items. They grew up with a McDonald's and a Kentucky Fried Chicken on every single corner. These are things they did not have 50 and 75 years ago, like this, the abundance of what they want to call convenience foods. And so now these kids are growing up, like with my girls and nieces, they are Takis and Sour Patch Kids and all the things that these kids are eating all the time, right? It's all dyes. All the stuff in the cereal boxes that they like to eat was on top of all the sugar, all those dyes, right? It's not coming from beet extract, Okay, it's not coming from any fruit or vegetable. Those are chemicals, right? And this is why you see all this autism going up and ADHD going up, because they're eating chemicals, they're eating crap that they call food, and it's not. There's no nourishment there. There are no macronutrients, nothing. Yes, ma'am. Huh. Oh, we love to talk about that. The U.S. allows a lot of things that, for example, the European Union doesn't allow. That's why you can go to Europe and eat milk and dairy, not gain any weight, have less health problems. You still have some problems, but not as bad as you do here, because we allow these things. We have lobbyists, okay? They are fighting against the health. It's not about health. That's why healthcare is your problem. Don't turn your health over to your doctor or to anybody else. It is your responsibility, and your doctor, your healthcare team, they work for you, okay? All the stuff they're selling to you and marketing to you, all this seduction they do in marketing is for your money, is not for your health. That's why I say do not be seduced by what's on the front. Read what's on the back. That's what's legally binding. They can say whatever they want to up here for the most part, except for like this is USDA organic. This is what you want to see. Correct. Correct. So that's why we study how to read labels in here, right? That's part of the class. And also to understand, like I told you, if they wanted you to know what was going on, they would not put it in the metric system, because in the United States, we don't use the metric system, okay? You don't know what 4 grams is, so it sounds like it's not a big deal. Okay, when you see 16 grams of added sugar, you don't care, because we don't know what that is in the United States. Everywhere else in the world they do, where they use the metric system, but they don't do it here. You think they couldn't put that here for the United States as one of the largest consumers, that they couldn't use the imperial system? It's not for, it's for a reason, okay? So, and then it's like, you're just like, okay, whatever. So that's half of it is in the metric system that we don't use. And then you don't understand when it says added sugars, or when it says, they always look at the wrong things. You're always looking like, how much protein does it have? Irrelevant, for the most part, okay? How much carb does it have? Irrelevant. How much fiber does it have? What micronutrients are in it? That's what you need to be looking at on the label. And then on the ingredients, which is the most important thing, it should not be a laundry list of ingredients. It should be everything you know what it is. For the most part, there's some small exception, you may not know what it is, that may not be harmful, but in general, it should not be a laundry list of things. It should just be one ingredient. It should just be ginger, garlic, okay? Your ingredients should not have an ingredient list, okay? That's how you know it's not processed. And if you do things that are mildly processed, like today we were doing a tofu today, okay? It's mildly processed because it's from the bean. It's done it's like a bean cheese, for example. Okay, it's mildly processed, still just 3 ingredients. You should not see a laundry list of stuff. And food dyes, like we were just talking about now, you should not see that, okay? Because then you're getting into processed and ultra processed. Yes, ma'am. That's not a bad rule to go by, okay? Especially when you're trying to transition to a whole food plant-based diet. Let it be ingredients you recognize, okay? That's the best thing. Oh, God. Right. Exactly. And then, well, that's a whole thing, because the school, being formerly in this, I know you're in the school system. When I used to be in the school system, that was just the most heartbreaking thing. This what they want to call food and give these kids, and then wonder why they have so many behavior problems, and they can't focus because there's no nourishment there. Okay, they're not drinking any water. They have vending machines everywhere in these schools now, but that's a whole other soapbox I'm not even going to get on right now. Hey, good to see you, Michael. Okay, so last section on page 1, heavy metals. So this handout today is more realistic because, like, I know, y'all know I'm vegan. Y'all know I'm not here to force you all to be vegan, just to expose you to things, but I know that in the real world, y'all still eating your dead animals and eating your breast milk and all that, right? So I have things on here to address all those things because I understand that you are on the journey and you're transitioning, okay? So that's why we're going to talk a little bit about y'all's favorite dead animals, okay? Okay. I'm gonna always say that just so you know. Don't going fish. You're gonna kill and suffocate some innocent fish. They all die by suffocation. Just breaking up families. Look at that. Lord have mercy. Okay. It's killing fish. Fish killer. Lord. Such a nice lady, too. Killing out there, killing fish. Okay. So heavy metals. Let's see. Okay, Darlene, since you're going to be out there doing that, you read a...
Low levels of exposure. Heavy metals are associated with organ damage. Avoid fish with the highest mercury levels, such as swordfish, bigger tuna, shark, marlin, orange ruff, roughy, and king mackerel. Reduce the amount of arsenic in rice by mixing rice multiple times and cooking in a large water rice ratio.
Okay. So some stuff to unpack there. All right, so as I would say, avoid all fish. But if you're going to consume fish, be aware, now on top of the arachidonic acid that we talked about, on top of the saturated fat, right, on top of all the things you have in land animals, you now also are adding in mercury, right? And that is a heavy metal. It's an endocrine disruptor. It affects your brain and all those things. So these are the ones that are highest in it. All of your sea creatures that you all choose to eat have mercury, with one exception, which is the sea roach, aka shrimp. Okay, there have been no detect in any. They are literally the same family, just one's on land, one's on sea. Because they literally are. They literally are. It's the truth. It is the truth. However, with the sea roaches, right? There's never been a study where they've been able to find detectable levels of mercury in shrimp. Okay, so that doesn't mean I'm saying go out there and eat shrimp. I'm just saying they have not found that. All right, I'm just because I'm being across the board what it is. Okay, I'm still not recommending it, but okay. I'm just so you know. So if you choose to eat your orange roughy and all those things, just know. I hate even saying in moderation, but it has the highest levels of mercury on top of all the other things that animal foods have, okay? And if you all keep thinking that you're eating your fish for the omega-3 fatty acids, then the fish don't produce omega-3 fatty acids, because just like with us, when we say essential, who remembers what the word essential means? Essential means what? It is necessary. It means our bodies don't produce it on our own. We have to consume it. So when they say essential proteins, if they say essential omega-3 fatty acids, our bodies don't produce it. We have to get it from our food, right? Well, fish do not produce omega-3 fatty acids that you think you're eating that salmon for, right? They eat the algae. So you could just eat the algae, right? You don't have to eat the fish and the mercury and the arachidonic acid and the saturated fat and all the other things, right? You don't have to eat that. You can, but you don't have to. You can go straight to the source like the fish did, okay? You can do that. You can do that. Okay, now let's talk about this arsenic in rice. Now you hear arsenic and you know it's a poison and all that kind of stuff. So it's like, why is there arsenic in rice? It's how, when they're making them commercially in these soils, arsenic is a naturally occurring substance, right? So it's not like it's not around. It's naturally occurring. It's in soil. So if you're buying it organic, it's going to be in much healthier soils, right? Because we talked about organic farming, right? So that's why you want to make sure you buy your rice organic as possible. You want to use a lot of water when you're cooking rice to help cook some of that out. But the main thing about this particular arsenic is bound. So it's not free roaming in the body. It's a bound compound that you'll excrete if you're eating enough fiber. So it's not something to be scared about, even though it says the word arsenic, but make sure you clean your rice and make sure you buy it organic to minimize that as much as possible because it's in food, period. Like I said, it's on the periodic table, okay? It's in the earth, all right? So not to be scared of it, just for education purposes. Any questions on page 1 before we move on? Okay. I'm going to keep it moving because we're kind of at the max. I'm going to have to move this quickly. All right, so this one I really made for y'all. It's like, I had to put all these dead animals on this page. But I just want to hit the point. I just want to get the point home because it's more important that y'all get it. All right, so before we start on this page, let me go back and ask you the question I always ask you. When we talk about a healthy plate, how do we divide the healthy plate? What are the proportions of a healthy plate? We talk about this a lot. Okay, so the question you're answering is, to be considered plant-based, your plate should be at least 75% plants. And then the 25% of protein, you have the choice between animal or plant protein, preferably plant, if you're, here in this class. Hi, welcome to Love in Action. Hey. All right, so we're not talking about that. We're talking about when you actually have a plate. When you have a plate of food, what's the proportions of your protein, your starch or carb, and your okay, so half your plate should be what? Non-starchy veg is what we always said, right? Non-starchy veg. So if that's 50% of your plate, then the other 50% of your plate is what? You have 25% for protein of your choice, and then what's the other 25%? Right, or starch. Okay, starch / your main carbs. And I hate to call it as carbs because, first of all, carbs has a bad connotation, even though your body runs on carbs, and all vegetables are carbs, okay? So that's what fiber is. It's a carbohydrate. So we're just talking about refined carbs when we're talking about the stuff that you want to avoid, all right? So if half your plate is non-starchy veg, 25% protein of choice, 25% your starch, right? That's how we lay it out. Now, on the handout I just gave you, I break it down the same thing. You see half your plate is non-starchy veg or veg, then you have your grains, and you have your protein of choice. Yes? Are y'all following? Yes. Okay. So the part that's most important is the part that says serving size versus portion size. So Joe, would you read serving size, please? Keep going. Yep, that's perfect.
And then for the portion size, that is the amount of a food you can choose to eat, which may be more or less than a serving.
Do we understand that? So I've told you all before, I think I gave my lesson pre-vegan when I thought I was starting to eat healthy, and I so wasn't. I would buy those rice packs you put in the microwave because I was still microwaving then, and I thought the whole thing of rice was only 250 calories, and it was 700 calories, and I eat my conveniently pre-seasoned tilapia that I also put in the microwave and mix it all up, and I'm eating my fish and rice, and I'm thinking my whole meal is 500 calories, and it was like over 1,000 calories, and I was like, why am I getting fatter, okay? So reading the nutrition label is very important because like here, it says a serving is 1 cup, and that 1 cup is 45 calories. So if you drink 2 cups of this coconut milk, you'll be consuming 90 calories, okay? Now, if I drink 2 cups, that is my portion size. That's what I've chosen to eat, right? But the serving size is based on what the nutrition label is. Does that make sense? Okay. So a lot of people like to conflate the two and say, they'll read that, it's only 45 calories, and then pour 3 cups. And you want to tell yourself that you had 45 calories. No, you didn't, okay? Just like I told you how they do this, I like to say seductive marketing when they have these cans of oil. Oh, welcome, Ramona. Hey, Pri. Hey, welcome, y'all. They'll have these aerosol spray oils, right, like Pam and all that stuff, and they'll say on the front, 0 calories. Well, how is it oil and it's 0 calories? Because like we've discussed in class, 1 tablespoon of oil is 120 calories, okay? So how do you spray oil and they have 0 calories? Well, if you look at their serving size, it says 1/3 of a second is 0 calories. So when you press it, how do you calculate 1/3 of a second? Okay, that's why you have to read the labels. When you buy these king size candy bars and it says 100 calories, you turn it over, it says it's 4 servings or 5 servings or whatever it is. But all you saw was 100 calories. Think I could eat this whole king size whatever, and it's 100 calories. And you know better, but you don't really want to know, right? But if you really want to know, read the differences between those two things, okay? That's why it's super important. Do y'all understand that point? Okay. All right, so then this last portion I think is really helpful. So for those who still want to see a dead animal on your plate, one sec. The size of your palm. So if you have small hands like me, you should not have, hey, welcome back. You should not have big old hunk of whatever animal, no matter what. If you have large hands, that means you can handle a little bit more. Okay, the palm, okay? So that's 3 ounces, okay? You don't have to have a measuring cup. You can look at your hand. And if your piece of fish or, y'all want to say steak because it sounds better, but your piece of cow, your piece of pig, your piece of whatever, your piece of dead animal should not exceed this, okay? You want to say filet and all that stuff. It's cow. Just say what it is, okay? Say what it is so you keep it front and center for you, okay? Same thing for nuts. Now, nuts and seeds, they're super healthy, but they're very calorically dense. And as a person who used to be allergic to them, now that I'm not allergic to them, it's very easy for me to eat a whole bag like it's nothing, okay? Should not exceed my hand, okay? Yes, ma'am. No such thing as a wrong nut. The main thing is make sure they're not coated in oil, sugar, and salt. Try to eat them raw. And if you want them with, some people say with some seasoning on it, do it yourself. Because in the grocery stores, they're going to coat it in oil. They're going to put in sugar on it. And then they're going to put the salt and all the things on it. And the sodium is like off the charts. And you're adding oil to something that's already a fatty food and you just don't need it. So you can, it's like we did the other day, we did walnut. We did for the salad. You can do it. It's so easy to do. You can put your own soy sauce or coconut aminos on your nuts. If you want a saltiness to it, you can put your own coconut sugar on if you want it sweet. Do it yourself, and you can shake it up in a bag, right? But buy raw nuts. So if you buy nuts or seeds, buy them raw, and you'll be good because they're all really healthy for you. Uh-huh.
What's this about, like, using duck fat or, like, all these people cook?
So we don't use duck fat in here, but they say that because it's more, so from culinary school, that it's more unctuous. It adds a depth of flavor. The way it coats the food, it's luxurious in terms of, in that world, when we were in that world that I'm no longer a part of, okay? But that was the reason why. It's way more, unctuous is the word that keeps coming to mind. It's just the way it coats, and it's that fatty, oh no. It's not for a health thing. Oh, it's never for a health thing. No, it was for a flavor and texture thing. Yes. You had a question?
Yeah, I was asking about the oil you mentioned earlier that's in a can.
Yeah.
Is it safe to buy?
So,
I know you said EPA.
so they have the aerosol-free cooking spray oils now that you can use. So in this class, we always say we want to use oil with intention, because most of the time I try to say, stay away from the oil, use it to add flavor like we're going to do today, or use it intentional because you're eating something like a lot of greens, and to absorb the fat-soluble vitamins, you need some type of fat. So that's when you can use like a vinaigrette. So you don't want to use a whole lot of oil off gate, number one. Number two, if you choose to use the oil, get it out of a glass container, or you can use the non-aerosol can for more convenience if you so choose. But it's not preferred. It's not preferred. And what's in those aerosol cans too, it's also oxidized. And then you're adding free radicals to the body, which is what we're trying to eliminate when we're eating the salad. Right. Okay. All right. So then we have our hockey puck for your grains portion, which is that 25% up here. A hockey puck. Okay. So don't load up on the macaroni and cheese or the dirty rice or whatever thing, right? That should not be half your plate, because that's how I used to eat. After half my plate, be macaroni and cheese or some kind of rice or whatever. Don't do that, okay? So it's going to be bigger than the meat portion, but not huge. Now, for those of y'all who like to consume lactation or breast milk, aka cheese, okay, this is how much to consume, okay, because of what it is. You're getting that concentrated cholesterol, the concentrated sodium. There's no potassium to counter out that. There's no nutrients in it whatsoever. It's just literally fat, okay? So, yeah, why do is a great question. It's a great question, Darlene. But if you so choose, because we all have free will, this is what it should be as a portion, okay? All right. For those of you all who love chocolate, like I know we have some chocolate hogs in the room, your portion should be 1 ounce. And say, how big is an ounce? Because we don't use the metric system. The size of a postage stamp. So if you are younger than me, you can go to and figure out what a postage stamp looks like, okay? So, okay, so postage stamp should be the size of your piece of chocolate. Huh? Not the extra large specialty stamps. Your regular thick, huh? The way it comes. Oh, pretty. The regular size, the regular thickness. What is that, like a 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch or whatever that? I can't. I think it's like a 1/4. The regular thickness, like of a Hershey bar, that thing. Or you can get a scale. That's a whole thing. Hi, welcome, Love in Action. Aren't y'all beautiful? Oh, hey, pretty girls. Okay, nut and seed butters, super healthy. But again, now if we said our palm or 1/4 cup is our portion size, right? When you make it into a nut or seed butter, it's even more concentrated. So you're going to have more calories and more everything in a smaller portion of nut and seed butter than you do if you eat just the nut or seed. Okay, so that's why for your portion control, your thumb. That's a serving. Doesn't mean you can't eat more than that, but that is a serving, right? Because you should be focused on eating that with an apple or some carrots, right? You have a bulk of that. But when you scoop that, that's 1 serving of your nut or seed butter. You shouldn't have a big old thing of this and you kind of spoon in that and you're barely eating any of the, okay? Don't play the games with yourself. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Okay? Don't play the games with yourself. All right, last part, fruit and vegetables, size of an apple or an orange or a baseball, okay? So it's just changing the proportion, right? You can still pretty much eat what you want to eat. Just do it with some guidance, you know. So for those who still are transitioning and can't let those animals go and just let them live their lives, right? If it's not quite ready for them to just be, right? Here's how you can transition, okay? So I put all these dead animals on this sheet for you all. So I don't have to discuss this again, okay? So we are over time for our lecture, but I can take any more questions. I can take some more. I'm about to put y'all to work today to help me for today's meal since we ran over. But any other questions or comments before we get into our... So I said the aerosol cans. Yeah, just by the nature of it, when it's oxidized when it comes out. It becomes oxidized once you spray it. The whole nature of it, how it's pressed out, it becomes oxidized. So it's not like it's fresh or anything like that. So if you choose to use it, get the kind that's non-aerosol. But it's best if you get your oil that's in a glass container anyway, if you're going to use oil. And if you're going to use what they want to say are healthy oils, which is really oxymoron type of thing, you know, that's when you want to use your palm fruit oil that's from West Africa or Ecuador or South America, or your olive oils that are cold pressed that you don't heat up or cook with, right? Or your avocado oil or coconut oil. We can definitely talk about that because that's actually a good question, but avocado is extremely fatty. When you cut it open, you touch the pit, it's all oily. It's very oily. Same thing with coconuts, but then when you get like grapeseed oil, when you get these seed oils, there's no oils in it. That's extremely processed. It has to go what they call expeller press to extract the little bit of fat that's in there to get these seed oils, and that's why. And most of those are always oxidized because of how it's coming out, which is why I don't recommend using those. So that's why I say use like palm fruit oil or use coconut oil. Things that are natural. You can use flax oil. If you soak some flax seeds or pumpkin seeds, let it sit in the refrigerator. The oils come right to the top. It comes right to the top. Those are naturally occurring oils, and those have nutrients in them. But these expeller press seed oils and things, no, it's a no-go. Spray can is out if it's aerosol. Yep. Okay. All right. Let's get to our first dish. So our first dish, if we're going to do a cobbler. So I said I had a tease in the beginning. If y'all, whoever answers this question right gets the bigger portion of the cobbler. Why we're doing a blueberry cobbler today. We're doing an easy cobbler. Okay, it's just 6 ingredients in this cobbler. Okay, why is cobbler, whether it's blueberry, peach, whatever fruit you want, why is it called cobbler? Who knows? Because the fruit inside, you're getting warm, Rashad? Still warm. Y'all are in the arena. Yes, Pre?
I was gonna say because of the topping, it looks like cobblestone.
Ding, 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 ding. That's why it's named cobbler, because it was after the cobblestone streets. Okay? Because it's crackle. They would put like biscuits or whatever on top, and it would be crackly, and to them it looked like cobblestone streets, and that's why they named it cobbler. Okay? So you had the shoe cobbler and then all that. That's where it came from. Okay, so Pre gets the largest portion if she so chooses. All right, so that's our trivia question for today. All right, so if you go on, pull out your phones if you're so moved to keep me on track, because I will go off track in a heartbeat. TheNaijaGoddess.com. Click on the hamburger menu, click on recipes, and I believe it's the first recipe up there. It will say blueberry cobbler. Or you can use the brand new search button that I added to the website so you don't have to search through everything. Okay? Okay. So it's our easy dump and go, because I know y'all love a dump and go. All right. So this is what we're getting to. Y'all can see the cobblestone streets. Let me put this in the camera. Okay. Ooh and ah. Okay. And the fruit. Y'all see the fruit? Okay. Okay. Now, giving credit where credit is due. I did not create this recipe. It's from one of my favorite people, the folks at America's Test Kitchen. Been watching them for years. So whenever you're baking, as a pastry chef, or I like to say former pastry chef, since I don't make any of the stuff I made in pastry school, you weigh everything. So somebody give you the recipe and say 1 cup of this, 1 cup of that. Your 1 cup of flour, it's not gonna be my 1 cup of flour. In general, it's not. Okay? Because flour, if your house has a lot of moisture in it or it's super dry, if you're high elevation, if it's clumpy, if it's old flour, if it's fresh flour, it's gonna yield a different weight. So if you weigh it and buy a great little cheap scale that I've had for forever. Hi, welcome, Love in Action. Hey, welcome back. Saves the day. Okay, so I'm going to use the scale, but I put the cups there just so you all can have it. All right, so that way if you weigh it out, it'll be the same thing. So I think it said 170 grams of flour. So I like to sift it in. Now I know y'all can't see it, but I'm talking about the scale to see where I'm at. So right now I'm at, so see, if I just put 170 grams, you would have no idea how much flour that is, right? That's how they do you on the nutrition label. You have no idea. But if I tell you, what I say, 1.5 cups, you can visualize that. Right. Okay, so now we're at 70 grams of flour. And by sifting it in, not only are you adding some air to it so it has some extra lift, you are also getting out all those clumps so you don't have a clumpy, lumpy batter. Because for something like this, we don't want a clumpy, lumpy batter. If we're making a muffin, then that'll be fine. But since we're making a cobbler, okay, I'll go a little faster. We're at 160 grams, so I need 10 more grams of flour. All right, so pour the rest of this in here. All right, I'm just going to leave that there. Okay, So the difference here is that I'm using self-rising flour. That cuts down on a lot of the ingredients that we'll need. So I don't need to add the baking powder or the pinch of salt and all that, because in self-rising flour, it's already in there. Okay, so that cuts it down. And you can buy whole grain pastry self-rising flour, because you know we don't use any white rice, white flour, or white sugar in this class. Okay, so we got that. I got that. Hey, Yvonne. Better late than never. Glad you're here. All right. So that's ingredient 1, right? Am I right? Yeah. Okay. Ingredient 2 is sweetened condensed milk. That's non-dairy. So they have coconut sweetened condensed milk in all the grocery stores. Very easy to find. It's no longer obscure. So instead of adding all the sugar and this, and that, just pour in 1 can of organic sweetened condensed milk. Okay, simple enough, right? So that's ingredient 2. So I'm specifying coconut or soy milk because of the thickness of it, because we're trying to replicate whole milk, right? How much I say, a half cup? Okay, so I'm going to do a half cup. Half cup of coconut milk here. Now, the next one, I'm making a deviation because, forgot to put my gloves on. They both have a sweetness to it, just differently. Yeah. Like I said, the main thing is it's got to be organic. Got to be organic. That's what we're looking for. I just lost my train of thought. Okay, the next part, the butter is supposed to be melted, but this thing is super soft, so I'm just going to roll with it. This is what we do. So I'm going to take part of this butter to grease the dish that we're going to put it in. And then the rest of it will go here. Okay. It's almost, it's super soft, right? So it's almost melted. All right. Switch out gloves for that. All right. And we need a proper mixing spoon. Oh, there's one. Let's start off with this. So then this is our batter. So that was what, 4 ingredients? So I made this other one here today using the same stuff. Okay, so here's our batter. And this, you don't have to worry about over mixing. When they were talking about not to over mix batter, they're talking about gluten structure. Because gluten, like, is what's in bread that gives it its structure. And so sometimes if you're making like a muffin or anything like that, you don't want it to get bread-like. If you want it to still be soft and have a nice crumb, you don't want to over mix it. And these chunks, little chunks of butter, they will melt in there. But when you do it at home, go ahead and melt the butter. Okay? Go ahead and do that. All right, so next thing I'm going to pour this batter into our prepared dish. Y'all see my pretty little purple? Yeah, you know, she's cute. She's really cute. It's my favorite color. Okay. I should say it's the Naija Goddess line of products, but that'll be coming soon. Just speaking it to existence, that's all right? All right. Okay. Non-dairy organic butter, the country crock. I think it's the avocado oil or olive oil. I can't remember which one. Yep. All right, so we're going to pour this in there. Yep, now I'm gonna add the blueberries. Now, this is not prescriptive. Use whatever fruit you like. Like my dear friend Trish is allergic to blueberries. So when I make her this, I'll choose a different fruit. You use blackberries, peaches, raspberries, whatever fruit speaks to you, use that. I'm just gonna get this a little even out. All right. Where's Adante? Adante, you come rinse this out for me, please, sweetheart. All right. Then we're gonna take our blueberries. You can use fresh fruit or frozen fruit. And you're gonna just be very liberal with it and just generously put your blueberries all over the place. Okay. Thank you. You give it to your brother, too. I don't care who rinses it out. All right. And then the last part, just to add a little bit of crunch, we're going to take some natural sugar, the kind that hasn't been finely milled, and then this adds like a little crust when it bakes. Optional, but it's kind of cute. You see it on top. Y'all see it. Y'all see it. Okay. We like cute, right? Yeah, we like cute. Sugar cane that's not been bleached, because we don't do the white sugar in here, right? Now, in the recipe, I said coconut sugar, and that's what I preferred, but when I was at home today, for some reason, the coconut sugar was hiding from me. So, hence, I brought this one. Okay. Coconut sugar actually tastes better, too, in my personal opinion. Okay, y'all didn't see that. So here we go. And we're gonna put this in the oven on 350 for 35 minutes, okay? And then by the magic of TV, ta-da, okay? Thank you. 350, 35 minutes. I'm going to set my alarm because I will forget it and it will burn. So that's super easy. Hey, y'all, welcome to Bluff in Action. Hey. So y'all want to eat the dessert first or last? Huh? Yeah? Okay, we can do that. Start off giving y'all sample cups. Yes, ma'am? So, sure, it's not at the top of my list. So brown sugar is white sugar that still has some molasses in it, right? So the unrefined sugars we like to use in this class, we like to use coconut sugar, coconut nectar, agave, maple syrup. Those are naturally occurring sweeteners. Date sugar, dates. Those are all natural. Then when you get into the refined part, the less refined would be molasses, because that's where all the nutrients are from the sugar cane that they stripped out. Then you have your dark brown sugar, then you have your light brown sugar, then you have your white sugar. Those are all the same sugar in different stages. I think, baby, it's still dirty. Okay, you rinse it one more time for me, please? You did a great job. Just one more time. Thank you. Scoop, yes. Yeah, so that's why a lot of white sugar is not even vegan, because to make it white, they blend it with bone char, and that's what makes it white. And that's why it's not vegan, because vegan means no animal affiliation whatsoever. So you're not going to see me buying wool, okay, and all that kind of stuff, leather and all that. So if you don't care, then fine, but that's why most of it's not vegan, so you have to make sure it says vegan-friendly white sugar if you're choosing to use white sugar. Yep. Yeah. It's best to know. It's best to know. Yeah, it's best to know. Huh? Wine is not vegan because they filter it through fish guts to get the impurities out, because it's super small filter. Scoop samples of that and the cups to pass out. Everybody needs some more cups. Yes. And you can use this to scoop into cups and all that. Okay. Now with our time remaining, so y'all I see how y'all start to perk up, y'all know food's coming? Y'all start to engage, and I see, okay. Yes, ma'am. Uh-huh. That's in the middle because so when we're talking about sugar cane, thank you. Great job, Adante. He tried his best, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful. Okay, so sugar cane in and of itself, because like in West Africa, it's very common just to be chewing on a chew stick, which is sugar cane, right? Because you're getting all the minerals and the fiber and all that, right? When they strip it out to get that white sugar, hey, Coretta, welcome. When they strip it out, the first thing to get all the minerals and all the stuff we just talked about, that's what molasses is. That's why molasses is actually healthy, right? All the minerals and things, all the iron, all that is concentrated in the molasses. Then what you're left with is dark brown sugar. So that's stage 1 processing of sugar cane. Then you have the next stage processing to get it lighter. They remove more nutrients, and that's where you have light brown sugar. Then the next stage is raw sugar, okay? Then the next stage is white sugar, okay? So if you're on that spectrum, the white sugar has absolutely nothing. Yes, it's the step above. I meant to take these off. Correct. So if you're in that world of using cane or beet sugar, like they use in the United States, so beet sugar, which is what most of the sugar is in grocery store, it is genetically modified because they use genetically modified beets for beet sugar, and that's what most of the sugar is. Okay, it's not even from sugar cane because it's more expensive to grow. So that's why you want to make sure your sugar is organic. If you're going to use white sugar, make sure it's organic so it's not from genetically modified beets. And make sure it's vegan friendly so it's not processed with a bone char to make it white. And that's why when you see white sugar that's organic, it's not as white as like those Dixie crystals that looks bleached. It's because of that. Yep. Monk fruit is another natural occurring sweetener. I don't personally love it, not because of nutrition. It's an aftertaste thing for me. And I just... especially when I'm dealing with mostly people who are just vegan curious, putting monk fruit in there, it's not going to work. You know, people who've been on the journey and are used to stevia and used to those other things like that, monk fruit is great. It's low calorie, it's hardly any calorie, and it's very sweet, but it has a very distinct flavor that if you're not used to it, you will hate it. If you're thinking it's going to taste like, quote unquote, regular non-vegan stuff, right? Vegans have enough stuff to overcome by just saying, hey, the food does taste good. I don't need to add monk fruit to it. Be like, what is this? What is this, right? But it is an approved sweetener, as is stevia. Those are approved sweeteners because they are naturally occurring. It's a fruit. Stevia is a leaf, naturally occurring. So that's on the list. I just don't typically use it because of the aftertaste and non-vegans being like, what is this? Okay. All right. And we might need some more cups. Yes? Huh? Okay, and last call for the kitchen. So if you want to order all the goodness we have on the menu, please feel free to do so now. And they'll be ready either now or at the end of class for you to pick up, okay? Yes, ma'am. Erythritol, yep. All the tols are sugar alcohols. Okay, and most of them are not natural to the body, which is why your body cannot process them, and that's why I say you avoid them at all costs. Erythritol is actually naturally occurring. They put that in a lot of toothpaste and things like that. I'm still not a fan of how the alcohol, how it reacts in the body. So that one is I'm gonna say semi-approved from a yeah, it makes it sweeter. It makes it more palatable because it has a very, very distinct taste. Yeah. So I just will avoid sugar alcohols if you can. Okay. So in the essence of time, I'm not going to make the dipping sauce in front of you because it's literally dump and go again. The dipping sauce is a peanut sauce that we're going to have. And I'll just talk you through the ingredients real quick so we can get these going. I'm going to have to put somebody to work. Y'all going to come up here and help me because our lecture today went over, but we had healthy discussion. So we're making the spring rolls today, or fresh rolls, I like to call them. So we're taking a dip into Vietnam because they kind of solidified the spring rolls, and we're taking a dip in Thailand because they're kind of known for their peanut sauce. Even though it's not truly authentic, we're just inspired by, okay? We're just going to Asia today. What's up? Get them from Naila. Naila, baby. Naila, give her some spoons, please. Okay, so we have 1/3 of a cup of peanut butter. This is a natural organic peanut butter. All right, the runny stuff, not Skip, Jiffy, Peter Pan, whatever other ones like that. Okay, not those. All right, because that's with high fructose corn syrup. It'll say partially hydrogenated oil, so that is a trans fat. Do not use those. Thumbs down. Okay. All right, then we have 2 tablespoons of tamari. Who recalls what tamari is? Nope. That's tahini, yep. What's tamari? It's like soy sauce, so why is it not exactly soy sauce? Because it is what? Gluten-free. Tamari is gluten-free soy sauce because soy sauce is made with wheat and soybeans, so wheat is gluten. So tamari is gluten-free, all right? So people who have gluten sensitivity, you buy tamari. It tastes just like soy sauce, but it's just without the wheat. It's just the soybean, okay, that's been fermented. So we have 2 tablespoons of organic tamari. Now, who's trying to call me during class? Okay. Then we have some organic lime juice. I squeeze a lime. Now tell me, are these ripe or unripened? Why are these ripe? Because of the yellow. So when they're dark green, they are not ripe. That's true too. That's true too. That's true too. Yes, ma'am. The question Pastor asked is, how long does my organic fruit typically last? Not long, because it's not supposed to. Less than a week. And it depends on the fruit. So if it's a berry, a couple of days. If it's an apple, if you keep it in the refrigerator, like 3 weeks. If it's oranges, it lasts like 2 weeks. If they're organic, if they're tomatoes, it lasts about a week if they're organic. You can refrigerate. It depends on what it is. Like I don't refrigerate tomatoes ever because it just changes everything. I refrigerate apples always, and the oranges don't even make it long enough for me to keep them in the refrigerator. They just go through them so fast. Grapes will refrigerate. I will refrigerate most fruits, and definitely the berries. I will wash them off thoroughly, and they'll last a little bit longer. If you put a little vinegar rinse on them, pat them dry, and put them in a glass container, they'll last twice as long. But if you just keep them in the plastic packaging, they'll only last a few days in the fridge. Okay, so we have our maple syrup as our sweetener of choice today. We could have used any other sweetener that you like. You can use agave, you can use coconut sugar, you can use date syrup, you can use whatever. I chose maple syrup today because it was on sale when I went to the grocery store. All right, gochujang. So from y'all, when we've gone to Korea before, this is a fermented chili paste. A lot of people like to use, what's that other one? Sriracha. I personally hate the taste of sriracha. There's an aftertaste. I just can't get over it. None of my recipes will ever have sriracha in it. Anytime it says sriracha, I swap it and put gochujang in it. So if you like sriracha, use sriracha. I just hate it. I can't. If I can't taste test it and say I like it, I can't give it to y'all. So gochujang, you can find it in any grocery store on the international aisle. It is fermented Korean chili paste that is akin to sriracha that I hate. Okay. Then we have fresh ginger that was grated into it, and fresh garlic that was grated into it using the microplane. So can you use powdered garlic and powdered ginger? Yes. Is it going to taste as flavorful? No. Okay. But it is a shortcut that you can choose to do. And then for additional flavor, I added in sesame oil, 1 teaspoon, because it has such great flavor. The other thing I did differently with this batch is if you don't want to use tamari or soy sauce, or you don't want to use coconut means because it's a little bit sweeter, but you still want that depth of flavor, what I use today, I use miso paste. Now, I've taught you all a lot about that, and I told you if you want to have salt on your food without having any kind of blood pressure effects or anything like that, because this is fermented, it does not have that effect on the body. So in place of the tamari, I've used miso paste. I did a 1-for-1 swap. Okay, I put like a tablespoon of miso paste in this. Mixed it all up and got this deliciousness. Okay? Now, for people that don't have baby mouth, you can add more spice. I don't believe there's any spiciness in my personal opinion, but somebody's gonna say this is spicy. It's guaranteed. But it's not, because I put like a 2 teaspoons of that in there. Okay, you whisk it up. If you don't like yours thick like this, add some water. If you like it thick, keep it thick, okay? I like it a little thick. Okay, so that's that. So that's that recipe, okay? So now we're going to get into the spring rolls. All right. I'm going to have some people come over here and do these spring rolls with me. Yep. Question? Comment? Peanut dipping sauce. Yep. Now, if you have a nut allergy, you can do this with sunflower seed butter, pumpkin seed butter, tahini. Okay? You don't have to use a nut butter to do it, but it's traditionally accompanied by a peanut sauce. That's why we're doing it today, since we are in the art and science of world cuisine class. Okay, that's why we're doing that. All right. So I wanted to show you the spring roll wrappers. These are brown rice wrappers. I only got one because it was the last one they had in the grocery store, and I went this morning because they were all in brown rice wrappers. So I was forced to get white rice wrappers, which is this. Okay. All right, and this is the one you're going to see most commonly in the grocery stores. But I'm encouraging you to get brown rice, okay? Somebody must know I was coming today and stole all my stuff. So that's on me, okay? So we're going to do both today. So since I only have one pack of these, I'm going to roll with these today, all right? So who's made their own fresh rolls before? No. Yeah? No? So just two people. Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to show y'all. It's very easy. Now, what we're filling them with today, it's not prescriptive. It's what I felt like putting in there. You put what you feel like putting in there. It was basically like, I don't want to chop everything today. So the only thing I chopped or sliced were these organic bell peppers. Okay. I bought some organic shredded cabbage, Lord have mercy, carrots. So I didn't have to do all that. And then I just picked some basil, some cilantro, and some fresh mint. Okay? Now, you can add, people like to add cucumber to their things. And I know I shouldn't say this as a board-certified holistic nutritionist. I hate the taste of cucumber, even though it's so healthy for you. So anytime I see cucumber in the recipe, I swap it with zucchini every single time. I also use for our additional protein in there to make this a complete meal. I'm adding tofu in it today. I know we don't do a lot of recipes with tofu. So tofu always has to be organic, So I don't have to do anything, so I didn't have to bake it, fry it, saute it, or whatever. I bought baked tofu. So you can just buy it like this. All I did was bought it, and I sliced it. Okay, so y'all can see what it looks like. They claim it's seasoned with some teriyaki. It ain't got no real seasoning, in my opinion, but they'll see it with some seasoning supposedly on it, right? But it's already pressed. It's already something. It's already ready to eat, right? It's already ready to eat. So I took it out and sliced it. So now it's really important to have all this laid out. So when we have all these things already prepped, ready to go, it's called what? What's that phrase called that we talk about a lot? Without my sister answering, who else knows? Oh, y'all are fired. Now my sister showed one day and know the answer. I say this all the time. Mise en place. Yvonne, you've been there with me from the beginning. From the beginning, like the OG of the mise en place, okay? So when you go to culinary school, they're going to say, get your mise en place, okay? That means literally translated from French, everything in place, okay? That's what that means. So that means before you start cooking, and you should do that for everything, the first thing you should do is read the entire recipe so you're not surprised. The second thing you do is prep all the ingredients. So when you start cooking, you're not saying, oh, crap, I got to go chop this up real quick. Oh, crap, I forgot to preheat the oven. Don't do that. That's part of being set up properly. So it is critical. I say all that to say it is critical for this recipe because you're on a time limit with these wraps, okay? You're on a time limit. Once you soak and it gets, yep. Y'all heard the lady. Final call. Wrap it up, okay? Go ahead and place your orders, okay? And in the grab and go, we've got juices that I juiced yesterday and today, and smoothies I made this morning. We have strawberry, blueberry. I think that's the only two that are left. And then we've got guava, pineapple, pear, and mango juices, okay? And some sea moss, and I think there's one overnight oat and chickpea salad left. Buy everything down. They're wrapping it all up. I think they took the last purple sea moss. I had all in there. But I make it every day. It'll be here every day. One of those is for my sister. Hey, chef, take one of those sea mosses out for me, please. It's for my sister. Okay. All right. Huh? Ship it to her right here. Thank you. Thank you, chef. Yep. Yes, which I'm about to show you now, and I'm going to have, so Rebecca, since you know how it works, you'll be one of the volunteers who was voluntold to come up and help. Okay, and Darlene. Okay, great. All right. Tell them to put some water in this. Yes. $35. 2.5? Okay. It's coming. So here's some hand sanitizer and then put the gloves on. All right. So the point I was getting at, you have to have all your stuff ready first, because what happens is as you're putting it in, it's becoming more hydrated, and then it'll become a sticky, sloppy mess, and you can't fold it or do anything with it, and you'll be wasting the wraps. Okay. So make sure all your stuff is prepped. It is critical. Yeah, we have shakes left. What flavor? We have blueberry and strawberry left. Okay. So I'll make another batch in the morning. You didn't get any blue cobbler? Okay, well, you get the next batch that's in the oven right now. Okay. Okay, where'd that knife go? There it is. What's all gone? I have it tomorrow. Okay. Y'all good? Got some water? All right. Purple sea moss? Oh, the wraps. Yep, they have, it's called ube. And it's a type of Asian sweet potato. Okay, so we have some helpers here. Because 6 hands are better than 2. All right, so we're going to use some organic spring mix, our herbs. I'm going to bring all that stuff over here. And we're going to roll these up, and these ladies will pass them out, and I'll get these spring rolls, the sauce to you. Okay. Yep. And some peppers and cabbage. I keep saying cabbage. I must need some cabbage in my life. So we have our carrots and our tofu. Okay. Where are the hand sanitizer? Okay. All right. So this is what we do. Let me show you. Y'all got the cobbler already? Oh, so y'all ain't give me any kind of feedback. Lord, see how y'all do? Y'all eat and it says next. That's what y'all did. Next. Okay, I see how it is. Dang, I'm like, okay, well, okay, huh? I have the timer on for that. Yeah, but that was a 6-ingredient cobbler. Okay, very quick and easy. No excuse, right? No refined sugar, right? So you can take that to a potluck and act like you did something fancy and you didn't. Okay. Yeah, it's baking now. Yep, it's baking right now. Okay. So here's what we do. We take the wrapper and you're gonna put it in the water. And I just like to rotate it. It's a great question. It's a great thing. Yeah. Crap. Thank you, Darlene. Okay. You just do that for like a couple seconds. And now the time really starts. So you come here. We're going to take our salad greens. The main thing with these things, you do not want to overstuff. Do not overstuff. We put some mint leaves, a little cilantro. And if you're a cilantro hater, keep it out. A little bit of basil. We're going to put a couple of pieces of tofu, maybe a third. Some carrots that I keep calling cabbage today. Okay? And then the next thing you're going to do, I shouldn't have put it on this paper. I need to put it directly on the thing. Okay? Now it's just like a burrito. You're going to just roll it over really tight. Tuck it on the sides, and then keep rolling. And that's it. And it's ready for dipping, okay? It's done. It's done. Air fry, you can do that. The other thing that's missing, I put in these brown rice vermicelli noodles. It's already cooked, so you just add that. It adds more bulk to it as well. So it's not prescriptive, so you all can choose to put this in there as well. Okay, so our ladies are going to be knocking these out, and I'm going to get this sauce around to you all. Okay? Yes. Oh, that's such a great question. All right, ladies, y'all good? Okay. And you all can go directly on this mat. It'll be a lot easier than on the parchment paper. Okay. Hey, welcome, Love in Action. Here's one of these. Appreciate it. Absolutely. Oops. All right. There's one I already opened. I opened two of them. Okay, the other one's already over there. Okay. All right, great. So the question that Yvonne just asked, what is cilantro famous for or should be famous for? Mexican food? Okay, yeah. In terms of what it does for your body. So I like to make sure that we have these ingredients you should associate with something positive that it does for your body, because everything you decide to swallow should either be life-promoting, right? And if it's not life-promoting, then it's not life-promoting. Okay? So actually, all herbs are very high in iron and magnesium and stuff like that. So that's true, but that's not the point I was getting after, but that is very true. It does have that. It does help with circulation because it's a green and it helps to cleanse the blood, which will help with that, but that's not what I was looking for. What else? It is a cleanser. It is a cleanser. Y'all starting to get warm. Hey, Jerry, welcome to Love in Action. What else? My OGs, y'all forgetting all kind of stuff now. Look, you can't be taking these extended hiatuses and forgetting stuff. Cilantro, you should immediately think heavy metal detoxifier. Okay? We even talked about heavy metals today. Look, come on now, come on. Okay? So not eating a little sprig, actually consuming it. So I like to juice cilantro. I like to put cilantro in salads. I like to put cilantro pretty much everywhere, because if you're eating those dead animals and all that mercury and all those things, the cilantro helps get that out the body. It gets rid of heavy metals. Yes, ma'am. Oh, I'm so glad you asked that, Ramona. And Ramona, you missed it last week. We harvested a salad directly from there. We harvested the basil directly from there and used it in class. But if you want the best tasting cilantro, you should grow your own on your own tower garden that we will be happy to get you set with, okay? But that's what you want to do. Get your own tower garden and grow your own. The basil came from the tower garden today, so you'll taste the difference, okay? The salad we had last week and the week before came from the tower garden, so you see it's regrowing right now, okay? So yes, that's what you're going to want to do. I'm supposed to be doing something over here. Where are the cups? Oh, here they are. So that's what we want to do. So that's great. That's a great thing. So In this wrap, if we have the tofu serves as what in this wrap? As the protein source, yes. So the red bell pepper serves as what in the wrap? So it serves as our vitamin C. It helps make all the greens more absorbable, the iron more absorbable, right? You want to have some source of vitamin C, yes. And it adds the crunch factor to the thing. You want to have different textures when you have these wraps, okay? And then the herbs add what? Micronutrients. Yes, that word. Because like I've said to you all many times, people are always talking about protein, carbs, and fats, but no one's talking about the micronutrients, and that's what most people are starved in. They don't have any micronutrients. You're eating all this food, and you're still starving, okay? That's what fills you up, and that's what cleanses your body. That's what heals and repairs your body. That's how you can have proper sleep. This is how your skin gets healed, all those things, if you're not having proper micronutrients. If you're not having enough fiber and micronutrients, I don't care what your macros are. You have to have proper proper fiber ingestion, and you have to have your whole array of micronutrients on a regular basis. So it's not how much, so you can't really overdose on vitamin C. They've been doing all kinds of studies. So the more vitamin C, the better, because not only is it an antioxidant, right? Hi, welcome, love, and action. Not only is it an antioxidant, but it's going to be to help you absorb. So vitamin C helps you absorb more iron. So vitamin C is going to be in this. Even though vitamin C is in the greens, but to help you absorb, make it more absorbable, you want to make sure you have something with vitamin C in it, especially when you're eating lots of vegetables, okay? And then, so when we have all these veggies, we have all these fat-soluble vitamins. So where's the fat coming from with these wraps? It's coming from two places. The tofu, yes. The tofu has some fat in it. And the second place is in this. Okay? So that's going to help you absorb. So you're already going to absorb the water-soluble nutrients, but now you're going to also absorb the fat-soluble nutrients, right? And we did all this without having any oil, with the exception of the teaspoon of sesame oil. Now, when you buy sesame oil, make sure it's real sesame oil, because if it's real, it's not going to be in a plastic jar. And it says it's $2, it's definitely not sesame oil, okay? Okay? It might have some, it's going to be in a tiny jar like this. And probably cost you like almost $10, okay? Because it's pure 100% sesame oil that you're going to use very sparingly, because it's very powerful. You only need a little bit. You only need a little bit. So the other stuff is cut with other oils, and you'll see that on there. So don't cheap out. If you're going to buy it, buy it. If not, wait till you have the money and buy it. Okay? That's what we're going to do. Naila, can you bring me some more of these cups? And I need a spoon, a regular spoon, plastic spoon. Let y'all taste this amazing sauce that you're going to dip your spring rolls into. And then, ladies, we're going to cut those spring rolls in half when y'all finish, so that way everybody can get one. Yep. Here's the chef knife. Oh, okay. And remember, we still got these noodles over here if y'all want to put some noodles in that. And my spring rolls, I like to add sun-dried tomatoes in there. I like to add Nigerian spices, of course. Oh, perfect. Thank you. That's what I like to do. So, any questions or comments while getting this passed out to you all? So you said the cobbler was something that y'all liked? Okay. I never even tasted it. I just made it. Okay. I'll take y'all's word for it. Okay. All right. That's the sauce that we use. Yep. Make sure everybody gets a little bit of sauce. Yep. So is that something that you all go home and make? Okay. Y'all always tell me that, but no one's come back and show me a picture of what y'all made. I haven't seen any pictures. No one's tagged me on Instagram saying, hey, I made this. You did? Okay. 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 I believe what y'all say. Okay. That's half the battle. It will taste better than mine, I'm sure, when y'all make it. Oh, yes, please. You make all the food look beautiful. No, those are just frozen organic blueberries. Yep. You can use fresh blueberries. I just already, if I'm making the smoothie, the blueberry smoothie, I already had the frozen one, so I just used what I had first. But I think in the recipe, I think I put fresh berries, but you can put both. I mean, either way works. It's like my favorite, girl. There's nothing better when they're ripe. Oh my God. Whew. God, this is kind of making me hungry. I don't usually, I'll cook all this food and I don't even want it. You know, I cook all the time. Yeah, I don't eat my food. Did it go off? I don't know where my phone is. Okay. Huh? Yeah, they're absolutely edible. Yeah, it's rice. Yep. All right. I'm going to start passing these out to y'all. Well, actually, I can't because of the microphone. That is Nigerian seasoning. It's in regular grocery stores now. Crap. Yes? Yellow and green box with red writing. All right, Rashida, the alarm just went off. Okay, was it ready? I mean, it's ready? Oh, okay. Yeah, so it has to cool for like 10 minutes first. Yeah, on this side of the table. It's very good. I could just eat that by itself. Yeah. Please stop it. I'm looking off the counter. It's good. To me. Hopefully it is to you. Perfect. There we go. Thank you. It's got to cool. Okay. Excuse me. It's all good. All right. Adante, you put some gloves on, baby? Over here. And you're going to pass this out to everybody. Yeah, I'm feeling it up here too. Okay, guys. All right, so here comes the peanut dipping sauce for your spring rolls that are coming as well. So y'all see how this is super easy, super healthy. And now that we're in summer, you have access to an abundance of fresh fruits and vegetables that are organically grown. You can go to your farmer's market, you can go to any grocery store, they all have an organic section. They will taste better. And this is a guilt-free meal. You can eat as many of these spring rolls as you like. And my sweet Adante is going to pass those out to y'all, okay? Okay, so these are guilt-free. You can eat as many of these spring rolls as you like. As many as you like. So okay, so let's look at so 2 wrappers is 60 calories. Okay? It takes a lot, and then there's nothing in there. I think the rolls, if you look on my YouTube page, anytime you scroll onto the bottom where it has the print version of the recipe, I'll always have the nutrition facts on there. And it's negligible. I think the whole thing is 178 calories for the spring roll. So, yeah. Yes, you can make these sweet or savory. And so I've like she said, I like putting like fresh mango in there with like basil or even cilantro. And people do it with strawberries. I mean, it's really good. It's really easy. You can do it with a lot of stuff. So as a couple of tips when you're making these spring rolls, I already told you all it's time sensitive, but you want to make sure that you don't stack them up on top of each other because it'll just stick together, okay? Put them on a flat surface. Oh, apologies. Apologies. Okay, so I think that's coming. So before we conclude class and you all try this out, or do y'all have any other questions or comments? Yes. We can make you a wrap without tofu. Yep. One tofu free wrap. Yeah.
About that tofu, I don't want to feel like I'm eating a couch. So how do you season that?
How many more? You don't want to feel like you're eating what? 4 more. Okay. Talk about the tofu bread. Okay. Okay, we can talk about tofu for a little bit. So anybody who, and when people say they don't like tofu, I'm going to say 95% of the time is because you haven't had it prepared properly, okay? And if you get tofu from a real vegan that's been vegan for longer than 2 or 3 years, unless you have a soy allergy or something like that, it's absolutely delicious. Like, it's just one of the most delicious things, okay? And so fat that we've added, we usually don't do soy here, but it's added to the menu. We have a tofu scramble and something else that's just really good. Hi, welcome, Love in Action. So, yes, so if it tastes like couch, it's not prepared properly, okay? So here are some tofu making tips. When you buy your tofu, it's not going to be like this. I mean, unless you're buying the pre-seasoned kind. Get the extra firm or preferably super firm tofu, which I actually have. Do I have some in here? I might have put it back in the kitchen already. No, I did. I put it back in the kitchen. Super firm or extra firm tofu if you're trying to do for that meat-like texture, okay? What you want to do with the super firm, you don't have to, but with anything that's extra firm or softer, you want to press it, okay? So if you live this lifestyle and you eat tofu on a semi-regular basis, buying a tofu press is like $20 to $30. You put it in there, it presses it down, it squeezes out all the excess water. Why do you do that? Because when you squeeze out all the excess water, when you add your marinade, it actually absorbs, okay? So if it's still full of water, it's going to compete and it's going to taste, it's just, okay? You need to press it out. So if you don't want to buy a tofu press, you can take a heavy pot and put it on top, or a book or a cast iron skillet, and let it just sit there for 20 minutes on a tea towel or some paper towels, and that will press the water out, okay? That's step number 1. Step number 2, if you're going to fry it or saute it, instead of using a knife to chop it off, break it off so it's craggly on all edges. It's more surface area, and coat it in some type of starch, like a arrowroot starch, what I like to use. And so when you put it in a saute pan, it makes it very crispy. So now you've got the marinade that's been able to penetrate because you eliminated the water. You have way more surface area because all the craggly places where it's more texture, and it's going to have that Maillard reaction because when there's sugar in the marinade, it's going to crystallize, it's going to form a crust. Okay, and you do that. So those are just some basic tofu 101 things. And if you don't have a soy allergy, there's pumfu, there's red lentil tofu, there's chickpea tofu. Okay, so you still can have the same, and all this applies to all forms of quote-unquote tofu. Okay, whether it's soy, red lentil, chickpea, pumpkin, whatever, it doesn't matter. Okay, and they're all available in most grocery stores. Most grocery stores carry chickpea and soy tofu, and then your upper end stores have the red lentil and the pumpkin. Okay. So those would be step 1s for tofu 101, okay? But y'all have had tofu here and y'all liked it because everyone was like, I don't do tofu, I don't like it. But then y'all had it and you really liked it. So it's just making sure the flavor is infused so it's not just a sponge. You want to squeeze out the water if you have firm or extra firm tofu. Now, when you have the softer ones like the silken tofu, you don't want to do that because that's what you're going to use for more of your dessert, your mousses, things like that. It's supposed to have more water in it. And the more, like the super firm has way higher protein than the silken because it's way less concentrated. So those are just some general tips. Did that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay.
And would you recommend the same arrowroot
Arrowroot powder?
for the air fryer?
Yes, I do. I use arrowroot powder and tapioca starch exclusively. I do not use cornstarch because I've yet to find one that's not genetically modified, and I've yet to find one that's organic. If y'all find one, let me know because the best one for sauteing is cornstarch. It gets the crispiest. With arrowroot powder, if you don't keep it separate, it can clump up. So you have to make sure that they're all separated, and then it cooks beautifully. But otherwise, it'll just clump. But I don't use, and I'm allergic to corn. So if y'all find a non-genetically modified organic cornstarch, let me know. Then I'll use it. No, I season the tofu, but you can. Just if you properly season, you don't need to. And then typically when I saute like that, you coat it in a nice sauce like this. I'm telling y'all, like we have Korean barbecue tofu on the menu now. That's the second thing. We crisp it up with chickpea flour, fry it, toss it in the Korean barbecue sauce. Yeah. It's like chicken fingers, for lack of a better word. Not that I've had chicken fingers in a long time, but it's akin to what I would call chicken fingers to be. Okay? All right. Y'all want to go ahead and slice some of these up and get some of these passed out? Great cause of tofu. It is a bean, so it's high in protein, it's high in fiber. It has a little bit of fat, so you can absorb your fat-soluble and your water-soluble vitamins. It is a complete protein, so when we talk about complete proteins, not that it matters if you're eating a whole food, plant-based diet that's full of the rainbow, but it's one of the proteins where all the 9 essential amino acids or proteins, they are in there. So it's fully complete. So when you eat that, it's like eating your own flesh or the dead animal's flesh that has all of the essential amino acids, okay? And again, essential means what? Something our body doesn't produce. So there are 9 amino acids. That's why I hate the word protein, because protein is not a thing. It's a group of things, okay? There are amino acids that what they call protein, okay? Protein is not one thing. It's lots of amino acids. 9 of them are essential to the human body that we have to get from an outside source, okay? So tofu has those 9 essential amino acids. Its filling has been around for a very long time, and the estrogen that people like to talk about in soy, it is way weaker than human estrogen, and it blocks those receptor sites. So when you're exposed to all these xenoestrogens that we talked about, like when you touch receipt paper or when you're eating these from plastics and stuff all the time, it's going to be protective of those really powerful and harmful xenoestrogens, okay? Because a lot of our foods have estrogens in it, but they've demonized soy because it's the most competitive with meat, okay? It's the most competitive. So, like, if you drink beer, then you're drinking lots of estrogen, okay? Because that's what it is, okay? Clover is it's way higher in soy in terms of naturally occurring estrogens, okay? So those are just things. So don't be seduced by what they're saying, because look at what they're trying to sell you, okay? So you can make the best decision for you. That's what this whole thing's about. Yeah. No soy. They're made from. No. So the chickpea will, the red lentil won't. Yeah, the red lentil won't. Red lentils are a complete protein. The pumpkin seed won't. But it still has all the other things, because pumpkin seed's gonna have way more zinc in it and way more other micronutrients in it. So it's not that it's bad or by any stretch. It's just different. Yep. And you don't need things to be a complete protein, because we're not just eating one thing in isolation. We're eating a multitude of things, and we'll get all the essentials we need. So it's not the fact that that's a complete protein that makes it better than eating something else that's not a complete protein. It's completely irrelevant. Yep. Yep, sure do. Okay, let's just slice them up. You need a tray or you need a cutting board? Okay, the tray's right here. but we need to put it on something. We can use this plate. I'm gonna pour it down the drain. There we go. All right, so we're gonna slice them on the plate. All right. Okay, y'all, it's coming. Any other questions before we wrap up class and y'all try these spring rolls? Fresh rolls? And if y'all can get 3 of them instead of 2, that's fine too, so make sure everybody gets some. 2 or 3, however is easier. Any questions? So always the seed is everything's in the seed. So it's always going to be your most, everything's in the seed. Yeah, doesn't mean that there's not nutrients in the actual pumpkin itself, because there is, but everything's in the seed. Yeah. Yeah.
The pumpkin seed that has the oil in it, and you just let it sit in it.
If you soak your grains, your nuts, your seeds, you'll see, particularly with pumpkin seeds and flaxseed, if you put it in the refrigerator overnight, you come back the next day, you're going to see a layer of oil on top, and that's pumpkin oil. Fresh, organic, virgin pumpkin oil. Right at the top. Flax oil right on the top. You can just scoop it off and you've got it. Yep. And I used to make a lot of pumpkin seed milk, and I would soak it, and then I would just take the oil off and skim it off, and then drain the water, and then rinse the pumpkin seeds again, and then blend it for the milk. Yep. Tap out. Who wants to tap out? I can't move around in front because the microphone will start going crazy. She needs some help. Swap out. Thank you, Rebecca. Appreciate you. I take that. It's right here. Any other questions? Okay, so next week, I know I had a special request to talk about MSG and all the things that seem scary and all that stuff. We will talk about that. We will talk about mushrooms, and I have a request for that. So next week and then the week after will be a miscellaneous week, since we only have, 3 weeks left in this cooking class. So I encourage you all to come on out and tell your friends to come on out. We will do it again. We're going to reserve Sundays for community outreach and education. So after this class ends with the Arts and Science Council, we will do something. Don't know what that is yet. Chef and I are still discussing. Yep. Yes. Yes, actually. This is how we were getting approved before when we were at Eastway. So it's with the Arts and Science Council of Mecklenburg County. The 2 contact names, and I can write it out for you all next week. It's, what is her name? Lord have mercy. Tip of my tongue. Ask me after class. Let's see. It's, I have for you next week. But you all can just reach out and say you really enjoyed the class and you'd like to see the class come back. That goes a long way, and that's how we were able to keep getting renewed. Okay, so it's all new staff this year, so they were not aware of the class, so they did not fully fund the class this year. So if they see we have a full house every time, and people keep coming and they keep requesting it, then they should keep funding it. So if you all, the last batch of classes when we had the last location, when they reached out to them, they kept calling me like, people keep talking about your class. And I didn't know they did that without me. I did not know they were doing that. And then they called and told me, and that made a difference. So it will make a difference if you so choose to do that. So to keep this free to the public. Fully funded. Fully funded. Because, I have to make it at home to make sure that y'all like it. It's not too spicy and all that kind of stuff. Make sure all that. Then make it again. So buying all the ingredients and then doing all the stuff on the website and then printing out all the handouts and creating all that stuff takes time and money. So they graciously pay for that so that it can be free to you all as a resource. And then we really appreciate them for that. So we had a 6-month run this time from January till now. So it's great. We'll apply again for fall funding. And then in the interim, the restaurant will do something. Just don't know what that is yet. We might do a kids cooking class or something like that, or a baking class or something. I don't know. We'll do something, some kind of educational thing. If y'all have any suggestions, feel free to let me know. Okay? But with that, these are about to be passed out right now. I am grateful for y'all's time and attendance. We will be back here next week. Please bring a friend, tell somebody, and I love y'all. Thank y'all so much. Okay?
All right. You ready to get that over?
Yes. It's all
make one without the tofu?